man, welcome back. You're still watching Ekse right here on Cape Town TV, the People's Channel. We are taking you all the way till 5 p.m. On today's show, we have a very, very interesting discussion. And I feel like our discussions are interesting every day, kind of, because we're bringing you that dish of entertainment from 4 till 5. So we want you to stick around and we want you to connect with us on our social media pages as well. On Facebook, we are Ekse. On Cape Town TV. On Twitter, we're at Ekse_live. We're on Instagram too. That is at Ekse_CTV. If you do want to catch some of your favorite Ekse episodes, all you need to do is to go onto our YouTube channel and you can find some of your favorite episodes on there. Or even if you just want to rewatch a conversation or even the conversation that we are about to have now. On Skype, I am going to be joined by Asanda, who is an educator, and we're speaking about, the schools reopening, and if the schools reopen, what is life going to be like, not only for the students, but for the teachers as well. And are we kind of ready for that? And I think it's an absolutely important conversation that we do need to have. So with that being said, I did think we had the wrong person on Skype today, because Asanda looks like someone from, the runway in New York. She's looking amazing today. How are you doing, Asanda?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
No, I'm doing absolutely amazing. So yeah, we're chatting about schools reopening, during this pandemic that we're still in. Are we ready for it? Things like that. And I feel like my first question would be online learning, because when people speak about schools, that's kind of the first thing they think of right now during the lockdown period. So do you think that both teachers and learners are ready and kind of equipped for online learning?
No, I don't think we are ready for online learning for reasons such as that you have different kind of learners in the classroom, right?
Yes.
And you have different methods that you use to accommodate all of them. So
Yes.
online learning is obviously going to use a blanket approach, and then you're not able to get to your learners that are quite slower than the others, or the
Yes.
ones that finish 5 minutes before everyone.
Yes.
So that's one reason. And the second one, not everyone is equipped when it comes to technology.
Yeah.
If you look at the age groups of the teachers that we have now, you have people that went to school and never had access to computers.
Yes.
Now they have access to it, but they're still learning. So it's a bit of a struggle for both sides, let alone data and accessibility. But
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, and there's a lot of anxiety around it, from learners and from teachers as well, because no one is really equipped for that. We're struggling in the classroom as we speak. So you can imagine if you take your class to an online environment now, how
Yeah.
it's going to be.
100%. And I feel like it should kind of be, because our government is supposed to, be taking care of these things, especially our kids and education, which is one of the big things in our country. When it comes to, because I heard you mentioning, our educators not being technology savvy. Is it in a
Yeah.
case of we're going to kind of train our educators how to use, the platforms and things like that? Because now it becomes kind of hard when, yes, the student is able to join the online class, but then the teacher's not really able to get the lesson across in a proper way.
Think of a teacher that's been teaching for 40 years, for example, and they've just been using the chalkboard and they've been
Yeah.
using the textbook. And in a space of 3 weeks, you want to equip them with the skills that they're going to be able to use a computer or use a cell phone to have a class with their learners.
Yeah.
Is it really going to work when you have not, for the past 20 years, you've not tried to equip them, but now you are trying to equip them under this whole stress that they're in?
Yeah.
Problem. And even with the new teachers that are coming in, we all are equipped, especially the new ones, but the
Yeah.
problem now comes to the fact that you never really have access to technology in the schools because
100%.
there are no computers in our computer labs. If there is one, it's probably just one that's working. So the department really needs to invest in that, in trying to equip the teachers, not only with the knowledge, but also with technology as time is moving. But now it's impossible to expect them to do that, considering that we can't have physical contact. Where are we going to equip them? Where are we going
Yes.
to have the session?
Yes. And that is an important conversation to have as well. And people are also talking about, okay, so we tried online learning, but schools need to reopen. You know, government is having talks about they're going to reopening schools and things like that. But the major issue then is, if we reopen schools, there is major health risks as well. In your opinion then, do you think that schools are then well prepared to, let's say, deal with the health risk or even prevent, some of the major ones as a whole?
I think even before giving a response to that, teachers and learners actually want to go back to school.
Yeah.
But we worried about the conditions that we find ourselves in.
Yes.
Think of a department. I've been saying this on my social media. Think of a department. I started teaching where I'm teaching in 2016.
Yeah.
I ordered books in 2016 and they've never arrived. It's 2020 now.
Yeah.
So are you telling me that in a space of 3 weeks they're going to be able to ensure that all the toilets have toilet paper, there's running water,
Yes.
there are enough sanitizers? How are they going to do that? So I think the departments or the government needs to look at whether the schools are ready to take the children back, and in this case they're not, because you get learners, about 60 learners in one class, they share desks, they share textbooks.
Exactly.
And yeah, all this training that needs to be done before learners go to class needs to be done by teachers. You can't expect a number of 20 teachers to take care of 700 or 800 learners.
Yes.
And those teachers are not even trained properly. So there's going to be a high number of people getting infected.
Yeah.
And this is going to include teachers who have underlying diseases. This is going to include learners who have underlying diseases, because
100%.
if we look at what they have, they actually malnutrition, others have anxiety disorders, others have other health risks, other health, problems that they're experiencing. Now you're taking them back to an environment that's not safe, and you think we're going to be able to stop the spread of the disease or ensure that they're protected. How is it possible that you say that learners must go back to school, but churches remain closed, restaurants remain closed, clubs remain closed, and old people must stay at home, the children must go to school? Those children are going to, they may not necessarily be infected, but they might carry the virus and take it back home.
And
it's going to...
Yeah, and I feel like you're kind of putting the learners at risk in a way too, because like you're saying, like you mentioned, the church is not opening, clubs are not opening, things like that, but you're reopening schools. Do you then think it's a case of government panicking and saying, oh my word, what are we going to do with our students? Because now the thing is, and I have a little brother who's in grade 10, and his question to me was, I've missed out on so much already because schools, had to be reopened and things reopened if there was no lockdown or this pandemic. But now, because we are in this situation, I've missed out on so much work already. Some of our kids are getting homework, tasks to do, and things like that. But there's not that teacher explaining what the work is about and things like that. And now people are talking about, when it comes to the end of the year, because it looks like it could be lasting for at least a year, am I then going to be put over to the next grade? Am I going to be staying in the same grade? Are we even going to be completing the curriculum? And it's a cringy discussion.
Yeah. I have a sister that's in grade 12, right? And as a grade 12 teacher as well, I'm worried. But I have a question, why does everyone act as though or think as though if we don't finish the academic year, it's going to be the end of the world?
Yeah.
Would you rather have dead children and dead teachers?
Yeah.
Or would you rather, even if we start in August or September, we can still be able to finish, let's say, early next year, and the learners can apply and go to university if they have to?
Yeah.
When people talk about being pushed over, it's too early for anyone to consider that. If maybe this happened in September, you would look at the 3 terms and maybe the government would look at doing so. But
yes.
There's NG on TV as well said that no one is going to be pushed over. But I think the main concern now would be, do we want to send learners back to an environment that's going to make them fail? Because even though we are looking at health risks, we're forgetting that this is causing so much anxiety.
Yes.
So you want your child to go back to a space where it might be detrimental to their education.
Yeah.
It might be detrimental to their health as well. So, okay, they go back and they sit for exams, but they failed because of the anxiety that's caused by if the next person in the hall sneezes or they cough,
Yeah.
does have corona and all of that. So with that being said, I think people shouldn't really be worried about whether we're going to finish the academic year or not. We
Yes.
still have a lot of time. Teachers work on Saturdays, we work overtime until sometimes past 7. We
Yeah.
can still get all the lost time back. But the main priority now is everyone's health.
Of course. And that should
Yeah.
be the major concern as well. Well, we're talking about all these things, and obviously a lot of people have different opinions when it comes to this conversation, especially about schools reopening and things like that.
Yeah.
But I want to know from you, what is your opinion? What do you think is something that could work?
What I think could work is that the government or the departments, the Department of Education specifically, they must just go to make sure that in schools everything is ready. There are enough classrooms for everyone. Because remember, where I teach, I have the smallest class I have is about 50 learners.
Wow.
Ensure that, yes, I sometimes have 80 in one class, but we find a way to work.
Yeah.
So they need to ensure that they have extra teachers, they have extra classes, which means those classes need to be divided, and ensure that we have enough sanitizers, we have everything that's
Yes.
needed in order for us to make sure that no one is infected. And if they really want to do the screening, then they should get the Department of Health involved. You can't
Yeah.
say that it's going to be the responsibility of teachers. We are not equipped for that. We can't be policemen and women at school.
And I
Doing
mean, you
interval.
guys are already so much. You're already the mother, the father, everything at school. And now they want you to be policemen as well. But you guys are really important to us, and we do appreciate you guys, for putting in the effort and finding ways, to come up with a solution for what it is that we are facing. So we do want to thank you guys for that, and I want to thank you for joining me today as well on the Skype, taking your time out. And we wish you all the best, especially with the reopening of schools. And we do hope that the correct decisions are put in place and the correct steps are being taken. And not just opening the schools, in a hasteful manner, and just really taking time out and make sure that everything is done cautiously. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me. Let's wait for Monday and hear what the minister has to say.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Listen, we're taking a quick ad break. When we do come back, we have much, much more for you. Remember, you can follow the conversation on our YouTube channel. That is Ekse and Cape Town TV. On Twitter, we're at Ekse_live. And you can get us on our Facebook page there as well. Give us a call, 021-448-0448, or email us at ekse@capetowntv.org. We want to hear from you if you're doing amazing things in and around your community. We'll be right back.
CTV family.